So hi, would you introduce yourselves, please?
I'm Caley.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephanie David.
Okay, and this is yours, by the way. Is that my understanding? Would you introduce this one too?
This is Tashi.
Okay, Tashi, the female?
Yeah.
Okay, Tashi, the female yak, correct?
Yeah.
All right, now we just happened to grab you because you looked like you were out there in the front and it was just a perfect picture. But we understand that you have had some success at this show. Tell me about what you did.
So I showed her and
Showmanship.
yeah.
And you won.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So I saw some of the yaks in the ring, and they are not the easiest thing to move when they don't want to move. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So showmanship with a yak is a bit more of an accomplishment than it might otherwise be, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what it takes to show a yak.
Lots of practice.
Yeah. Well, it does. And actually, my husband, the camera guy, we came upon a yak and a gentleman moving a rather large yak yesterday or the day before. And he said, hey, could you just walk behind him, just kind of pat him on the butt a little bit and push him a little bit? The yak still didn't want to move. Yeah. So he said, just bend up the tail a little bit. And it took a little bit, but they moved. But it's just like moving a bale of hay sometimes,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. When they get big and they don't want to go, they just don't have to go.
They don't have to go because this is a very large animal, right? Now they're shorter, which is kind of interesting. Are they the same height as
So this
cattle?
is a steer that he's 13 years old.
Okay.
And her cow Tashi here is 7 years old. So the males get much larger than the much larger than the females. So.
And when you castrate the bulls and they become steers, do they get larger yet, or are they still smaller?
They still mature and grow about the same as a bull would. He weighs about the same as what our herd bulls do.
All right. So when you do have a steer in the yak universe, is this just for show at some point in time, or is he gonna go next door with the jerky?
If he gets a name, if they get a name, they're safe.
Isn't that the way? Names versus numbers, right? Numbers the one you don't want to keep.
If you have a number, you might be in jeopardy, but if you have a name, no. And he's been with us for 13 years, and we have no plans of him ever being anything but retiring with us.
Now, where's your? Do you say farm or ranch? It depends on which side of the Mississippi you're on, right?
We're on the ranch side, aren't we, Caley?
Yeah, ranch. So you're a ranch kid.
Yep.
Is it still hard to have them meet their fate or destiny sometimes when, no?
A little bit hard when you have a show pig or something, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, so you have pigs too. So what kind of animals do you raise?
We raise horses and pigs and cows
And yaks.
yeah.
Why did you guys choose yaks then?
Years ago, we were actually at the stock show one of the first years that the Yaks were here. And my husband, Doug, who's over there now, he just thought they were a cool animal, and we bought 2 or 3, and now we have about 250 cows. And we actually have, we supply natural grocers with our meat.
Yeah, you're the jerky and the salami tasting. Is the salami?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty yummy stuff over there, and you give away free samples, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And we have the young kids that come along now and show the Yaks for us.
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's great advertising up front, by the way. You just stand there with a yak and people will come on over. You and your dad could get together. You put the yak there, and then you put the tasting section right next to it, and everybody will come back here. Yeah, as you're sort of off in the back here in the event center, you get lost.
That's the tough part is people don't, they get up to where the dogs and the new arena is, and then they think there's nothing beyond that, but we really want to encourage people. We're going to stay here since it's such a beautiful day today, we're going to try to stay down here until 3 or 4 o'clock, so we'd like to encourage everybody to come down and see Caley and a yak and try some samples.
Yeah, it's gotten up. My phone is telling me it's 35 degrees now, which is fantastic.
It's
but yesterday,
today.
Yes, it is, because it was really, really cold. But how do these guys do? Because they look like nothing was phasing them yesterday with snow on them. Is that right?
They love it.
Yeah.
They do. Well, we have friends of ours that are in Alaska and they raise yaks, and we actually met them at one of these events.
Yeah.
And they said, nope, they do just fine. They're fantastic, great weather animals. They're very sturdy. They're pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah, and if you look at these right now, this is all wool in there. If you want to, that's all their wool that we make all the clothing out of, that gray down in there. So in the spring, when they start shedding that, we comb it out with a dog comb, and that's what all the clothing is made out of.
Yeah, there are different layers on a
Yep.
fiber on a
Yep.
yak, right?
Yep, these are called guard hairs, which they make a lot of stuff out of that, like rugs and things.
So you do it with a brush and not a razor, not a.
You don't shave. You
Not a
don't,
shave.
You don't shave them. You comb them. Just comb it out as it starts to shed. If it don't come out easy, they're not ready yet.
Okay, and then they have that downy part that you were showing us.
Just keep pulling it as it sheds.
So is that what they use for those? We last year or the year before we succumbed to buying a couple of those gorgeous scarves. They were
Yes,
just
that's what that
beautiful,
would be out of.
beautifully and wonderfully soft. I think they combine them with other fibers sometimes too. Is that right?
Yeah, they might add some alpaca or some merino to some of them
Yes.
just to hold them together, because the yak fiber is so delicate and so fine that it's hard to spin without adding a little bit to it.
But you can see how the peoples that depend on these fibers get quite a bit out of one animal. It's not just
Right.
the top layer or the bottom layer. You get all kinds of things. You can make anything, right? Blankets or sweaters.
Sweaters, I got blankets, sweaters, socks, hats, scarves, everything.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is I want to say a quad-purpose animal, right? Because you have the fiber, and you have the meat, and it's a pack animal, it's
Yep,
transportation.
Very good pack animal.
Very good pack. So now you're saying that like you know. Do you do packing with these
She's
guys?
been packed, and this cow has been packed on some independent films. When they were making films, they would use her because she leads so good. So she's actually a movie star before she was a movie star.
I would think so. If you got one that leads, I saw that one yesterday. He did not want to go, and that would not be something that
She goes pretty good.
Yeah, the film crew would not be amused at $4,000 a minute, right? Yeah, we met quite a few people that use their animals on film sets. The Milking Devons they used on one of those old westward movement ones. We spoke to Raleigh Johnson in Colorado, and he said it was in great demand because the team behaves and you know how to move them, and it's very realistic.
Yeah.
And so I could see how I don't know if you have the Yellowstone. I guess there's something in Alaska that would be set with these guys, right? Or
right. I think I don't remember at the movie something to do with they were talking about the trekking through Tibet and stuff. So and they used her up in the mountains and made a movie out of that.
Yeah, I would think that's the case. So the other thing that these animals are used for is the milk. So tell me about the dairy portion of this. Is it fair to call it dairy? It's
I think
milk.
it's fair to call it dairy, and I'm going to be quite honest that I'm not the most up on the dairy part of it because I'm more into the meat and the fiber aspect of it. But the milk is very, very rich, heavy with cream, and makes wonderful cheese. So
that's what I understand.
As far as after that, like I said, I am not the best source of dairy with yaks, but if I'm the president of the Yak Association and if people were interested, I can definitely hook you up with the people that know way more than I do.
We have spoken with one of those people that knows quite a bit about the butter and yak, and so it's yak butter and yak cheese, and all kinds of different products. It has a different interesting
texture.
Sharp taste to it and texture,
Yep.
but it's actually quite good. You just have to get, it's like the
Used to
difference
it.
between blue cheese and maybe a cheddar or even like a lighter Gouda kind of thing. There is just a little bit more of a bite to it.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was very delicious.
Yeah,
It was very tasty.
it's very good.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those animals that's culturally important as well.
Very, very much so.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So I think this is a wonderful thing that we can sort of get a little glimpse of a whole other place, even if we live in the middle of North America, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we appreciate that you come down and highlighted the yaks because they kind of get left out anymore.
Well, I have to tell you, this event center is fantastic, and this new thing is wonderful. But the big kind of closer to the wild animals are back here.
Right.
So the bison are back here, which are truly interesting to see up close, and the longhorns are over here. And the yaks are here, and this is just well worth the trip on that little cart, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
well worth the trip
Yes,
to walk,
absolutely.
too.
Just come on down, and we'd love to visit with anybody and have them see the yaks.
Now you're here every year.
Yes, every year.
Okay, fantastic. Tell me a little bit about the organization.
We have two organizations that went together this year for the show, with the International Yak Association and the U.S. Yak Association. we just come down here and have our little show and have a good time and get to see each other once a year. It's just kind of our banquet, if you want to say, and all our Yaks get together and we have a great time. And we look forward to seeing all the public, and we really like to have the public come down and interact with the Yaks.
All right. Well, so if people want to find out more about Yaks, where do they go?
You can go to iyak.org, iyak.org. We have a lot of educational materials on there, and it gives you, you can look up breeders in the area or people that specialize in certain things is on that website.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you also to do your ranch.
So we're at Bow Creek Ranch, yes.
Okay.
We specialize in meat. We also have our wholesale company, which is Front Range Yak Co., that supplies all of the natural grocery stores in the United States with yak meat.
Okay, and you do great salami chicken, and you ship, I noticed.
Yes, we do. We ship every Monday and Tuesday. Mondays at my house are truly a Monday at my house.
So if they want to go to find that, do you have a website?
Yep, www.bowcreekranch.com. Yeah, and just click on shop, and it shows you all of our inventory.
Fantastic. We're going to go over there and taste it in a minute.
All right, you have some samples.
Thanks so much to both of you. Congratulations.
Yep, thanks.
Hi, would you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Doug David with Bow Creek Ranch.
And I know we just talked to your other half, was that right?
Yes,
Just a couple
yes.
minutes ago. And your daughter?
No,
Is it
it's
right?
my neighbor girl.
Your neighbor girl. And neighbor girl did quite well at this
Yeah,
show.
she did really well.
Yeah, showmanship.
She
So-
helps us a lot. So
Yes, well, we understand that you're also famous for other things other than the junior showmanship
Yeah.
with your crew here. Tell me a little bit about what you sell.
we sell a lot of different cuts of yak meat. We do anything from like a summer sausage. We do Polish, jalapeno cheddar and plain. We do a ring bologna, breakfast sausage, and then a variety of steaks and burger.
Now, I was looking at these steaks. That's a little bit of different marbling on that.
Yeah,
Tell me
yeah.
why that.
The yaks are about a 90% lean animal. So when you look at this, you're not going to see as much marbling, and it depends on how they're finished also, or what they're fed to finish. Normally, our cuts have more fat on the edges of them, but our processor trimmed them this time. So, but normally we have a little bit bigger steak, but we had trouble getting our processing done for the show in time.
Yeah,
So
it's been a year,
struggle.
hasn't it?
It's been a struggle.
Yeah.
But we got plenty here today, so we will sell out a burger, and we've already sold out of some other items. So
And you do shipping too, right?
yes, we ship every Monday and Tuesday. So if you guys anybody's interested, all you have to do is go to our website, www.bowcreekranch.com. There's a shop button, and I ship out every Monday and Tuesday. It comes in a styrofoam cooler, frozen, so usually 2-day shipping.
Okay, wonderful. I'm going to ask you one other question about the meats here. So there are some cold weather breeds of animals that have a fat cap rather than marbling intensely
Yeah.
inside. So is the yak one of those?
On like on your roast, usually this one does not have much of a fat cap. Normally we do have a bigger fat cap on the briskets and on the roast. Some of the fat on here, normally we leave that tip on the end of that ribeye, but it's a little different cut. The main cuts are all the same as beef. The yaks are a bovine. Other than up over their back, they cut different up over their hump on their back, where a beef doesn't have that. So you get a little bit shorter loin area on the top of that. So other than that, it's pretty much the same cut.
Okay, now there are certain kinds of animals that when you cook them, you can ruin the meat if you do it wrong.
Yes.
And I know the bison, they were saying that was one of
Yep.
those. It's low and slow with
Yep.
them, like a goat.
It's
Goat is
exactly
low
what I
and slow.
tell everybody. I tell everybody, low and slow, low and slow. That's the key to this. It's what he's doing right there is a Polish. Ellen, you want to see? That's a Polish. We just rolled it around on there a little bit. It starts steaming, and it's done.
Because you can taste it at one point and
Yeah.
you can cook the taste
Yeah.
right out of it if you
Yeah.
do it wrong, and then you think I don't like yak, but it's not that. It's the way you cook it, right?
Everything we do here is like the burger. It's all medium rare to rare. You do not want to go past medium rare with a yak cut at all.
All right.
It just, you want the flavor of the meat. And when we do our samples here, all we do is salt and pepper. Tom did a show yesterday, and we did sampling meat, and he had some sautés and stuff like that, just to show people if you could add that to it. Normally, I tell everybody, don't ruin your meat by don't marinate it. There's no reason to ever marinate this meat or anything like that. You'll lose all your flavor.
Interesting.
You know, the reason you buy the Yaks for the flavor. It has a naturally sweeter flavor than beef.
So it's not a gamey
No,
taste?
no, there's no gamey taste to it. They are bovine. They are, considered a cow, but there's no gamey. It's all how they're fed. And we feed everything at our ranch the same way. So if you buy meat this year, you're going to come back next year, you're going to get the exact same flavor.
Yeah, feed makes such a difference
Yes,
sometimes.
yes.
I know with goat milk, I used to be in a goat milk co-op, and I could taste when they got into the brush a little bit
Yeah.
versus the alfalfa because
Yeah.
there was a distinct difference in that.
Yeah.
So it's the same way. You have at least a consistent taste. You come last year versus this year, that sausage is just going to taste the same.
Yes, yes.
That's a nice
Yeah.
thing too, especially if you're shipping, because
Yeah.
that's a long way to
Yeah,
ship meat.
yeah. We have a lot of repeat customers, and that's why they come back to us, because every time we ship, they know it's going to be the same. So it's just got a great flavor to it.
Fantastic.
I mean, the name kind of scares people off, but don't be scared of it. It's something different. I get contacts all the time. It's growing bigger and bigger. We are natural grocers, but it's under the Front Range Yak name. That's our wholesale company.
Okay.
We only sell burger to natural grocers, but if you look, you'll find us there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys coming out and doing this for us.
I think the camera guy might just be tasting the stuff after this.
Yeah.